Welcome to our workshop on ACCA exam techniques organized by SmartTrain in collaboration with SAA Global Education, the leading and prestigious platinum tuition provider of ACCA in Singapore. My name is Quản and I'm from SmartTrain. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to wish all of you a lot of health and express my warmest regards. Joining the workshop today, we are honored to announce the presence of our special guest, Mr. Iwrin, Director of Scientific Innovations Company and ACCA Lecturer at SAA Global Education, the main speaker of our workshop. Ms. Kate Pham, Country Manager, International Sales of SAA Global Education. And Ms. Trần Thị Xuân Mùi, Deputy Director of SmartTrain. And most importantly, all of our participants who are SmartTrain's current ACCA learners and other interested learners present in this hall today. Firstly, please join me in welcoming Ms. Trần Thị Xuân Mùi, Deputy Director of SmartTrain, on stage to deliver the opening speech.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Okay, thank you. Are you sleepy? Okay, very good. I will wake you up. Okay, don't worry. Okay, first of all, on behalf of SmartTrain, I would like to extend my warmest greeting and thank you very much for your presence here today. Okay, can I ask you, almost you here are SmartTrain learners, right? No? Is there anyone who is not SmartTrain learners? You? Okay. Anyone else? Raise your hand. Okay. Okay, so it means that all of you, most of you here except you, yeah, are SmartTrain learners, right? Okay, and I think that most of you have done some ACCA papers before, right? If there's anyone who have not studied ACCA yet, who have not, okay, you and who you have, if there's anyone who have not done any exam, ACCA exam before? Okay, okay. So you are very enthusiastic now, right? Yeah, how to do the exam, right? Okay. And today, in order to help you to achieve a high result in the ACCA exam, we are very pleased to, in collaboration with SAA Global Education from Singapore, to organize a workshop exam, ACCA exam tip. And you all know that SmartTrain is a training organization in providing international programs in accounting and finance. And we have been delivering ACCA for 6 years so far. And currently we have around 1,500 current ACCA learners in 2 campuses, in Ho Chi Minh City and in Hanoi. And we are very proud to announce that our learners have passed a high result in the previous ACCA exam, and many of them have won prize winners. And today we are also very proud to be in collaboration with the SAA Global Education to introduce to you the workshop, exam techniques, ACCA exam technique, and especially this workshop will be presented by a very well-known and very qualified trainers coming from Singapore. He has won 7 prize winners in Singapore. Very impressive. Okay. And I want to say time. Once again, thank you very much for your presence here today. And I wish all of you health and success. And I wish all of you enjoy this workshop. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mui. And next, I would like to invite Ms. Kate Pham, Country Manager, International Sales of SAA Global Education, to make a brief introduction of SAA, the co-organizer of today's workshop.
Very good afternoon to everyone. Afternoon. My name is Kate. I am Vietnamese. Okay, I'm in charge of recruiting Vietnamese students to Singapore to study at SAA Global Education. So it's my honor to be here today to brief you a bit about my school. Okay, ACCA Global Education, it stands for Singapore Accountancy Academy Global Education. It's actually the education arm of ISCAR, Institute of Singapore Chartered Accountant. Maybe I'll translate into Vietnamese easier for you to understand. Trường của mình là trường ACCA Global Education. Tên viết tắt của nó là Học viện Kế toán Singapore, và đây là đơn vị đào tạo uy tín nhất của Viện Kế toán Chính quy Singapore, chính là nơi mà sẽ Viện Kế toán này hay còn gọi là Hội đồng Kế toán Singapore, là nơi cấp phép hành nghề cho các bạn chuyên viên kế toán, kiểm toán cao cấp nhất của Singapore. Thì ở mỗi đất nước thì đều có một cái viện kế toán như này, ở Việt Nam cũng có, và Singapore thì đây chính là công ty mẹ của ngôi trường của mình. Và we have been around for 30 years, 30 years since 1985, and we always be the leading accountancy tuition provider since then. And we have been the continuously 9 years having the platinum status from ACCA as the very recognized tuition provider in Singapore. And we have been produced 769 prize winners since then. Alright, so thank you so much to Smart Train for giving us the chance to be here to introduce our school and to collaborate with Smart Train. And I hope you all will have a good time today. Okay, so I will leave the stage to Mr. Iwrin. Okay.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kate. And ladies and gentlemen, experiencing innovative learning methods and adopting exam tactics from accomplished foreign trainers play a major part in successfully obtaining an international professional qualification like the ACCA. This is also one of the top criteria taken into account by Smart Train when implementing our ACCA program. With more than 10 years of teaching and working in accounting and finance in Singapore and regionally, simultaneously having the MSc, FCCA and CA Singapore, an ACCA Singapore silver medalist, and a 7-time prize winner in the ACCA exams, Mr. Iwrin will bring to our workshop valuable information and sharing on the topic of ACCA exam techniques. Well, please welcome Mr. Iwrin.
Xin chào. Does that work? Hello people, thank you for turning up. Let me try speaking without the mic. Can you hear me?
No.
Right at the back, can you hear me?
No.
You should sit in front. Okay, I'll use the mic. Alright, let me do an introduction of myself. Let me set up the slides for myself first. Can you help me? What is this? Chuyên, toán, Chính, ACCA 2 trainer. 7 times prize winner. And here, what is it? Strategy. Or techniques to... Ah, okay. So this is one line and this is separate. Alright, okay. So this is the ACCA techniques that you will be learning today. And let me see my slides. Is it ready? Right. Okay, so my hands will be a little busy. One has this, the other has the mic. Alright, so to introduce myself very quickly before moving on. My name is Iwrin. Am I speaking too fast for you? Too slow? Just nice. Really? Okay, now if any of you feel that I'm moving too fast, don't be shy, just put up your hand and you do something like this, okay? I will slow down. Because sometimes as I go on, I can get excited and I will speak very fast. Then you just have to signal to me. Alright, I will slow down. So, a quick introduction. I'm a chartered accountant. I practice accountancy for some time. But to be honest, and some of you may enter into the same situation as me, after practicing you realize that although you can do the exams very well, but when you go to the workplace, you don't really like the job as an accountant. You have to do your month-end closing, your year-end closing. So after a while, I didn't really like it. But the good thing about doing ACCA, or doing accountancy is if you don't like doing accountancy, you can always switch to somewhere else, right? You can switch to work for a bank, you can go into education like me because I love education a lot, or you can go into business, which is what I'm very interested in. So right now, I'm no longer practicing accountancy, I mainly teach, and I'm also interested in educational businesses. So just to share with you one small project, which I hope will grow bigger, is I hope with a few partners, we hope to set up a training school in Cambodia. Not to teach ACCA, but to teach other kinds of courses. So these are the areas that I'm interested in, and they brought me in here because I've been teaching ACCA and will still continue teaching. I've been teaching for around 5 years, and this 7th prize winner, that was honestly quite some time back. I heard that standards now are much higher. During my time, if I score 80 over marks, I know that I will be a prize winner. In Vietnam, when you score 80 over marks, can you be a prize winner? Do you all know? Yes or no? No, then how much must you score? 100 marks. How much must you score in Vietnam to be a prize winner? For those, how much? 77. For which paper?
F9.
F9, 77.
Not me, but another one.
Wow, so is that the first? Because prize winners, for those who are hearing this for the first time, prize winner doesn't mean that you got the first in your whole country. Prize winner means that you are either first, second, or third, right? So 77 first? First in Vietnam. Oh, that's good. Anyone scores for some papers like 90? No? You know what? For F6, how much? 90? 94. Wow. Yeah, if you go to China, and actually Singapore, but it's different. Singapore, there are many full-time students, okay? So every day they wake up, they just open their textbook and they study, and at night they close their textbook and they sleep. Then the next day they repeat. So in Singapore, you also have people who score 94. You also have people who score even higher than 94. Right? The standards now, people are working so hard. So to make a difference, exam techniques are important. Just curious, how many of you all here, you would like to be a prize winner? Yeah, I ask that question every time, nobody puts up. Those who like, they are like shy, right? They say, if I put up, I'm like showing off. Honestly, really nobody here likes or wants to be a prize winner? Then I think you don't need to attend my workshop. Only one. You must talk more to your classmates. Make them one. If you are a prize winner, many doors open. Really. I could lecture very early in my life because I went to a school and said I was a prize winner for 7 times. I know ACCA like the back of my hands. They say, okay, I give you a very low salary, I give you a chance, you try out teaching. And that was how I started teaching, and I started to love it. And then soon I realized, yeah, there are many methods to doing well in the exam. So today I hope to share with you all those methods, but before I really start and go through the lesson plan for today, are there any questions you have for me? Yeah, I thought Vietnamese are quite loud people. Why are you all so quiet? Do you all have any questions? Anything about my life? About me? No? Yes?
I just have a question that now you work for accountant, right?
Yes, now I'm not practicing as an accountant.
So why did you choose to study ACCA if you don't want to work in accountancy? And what is the motivation?
Why I studied ACCA at first was because I liked Warren Buffett a lot. Who is Warren Buffett? Who is Warren Buffett? Investor, yes. If you want to invest, who is better than an accountant, right? Can you think of anyone better than an accountant when it comes to investing? Someone who, when you give the balance sheet, the profit and loss, and this is something that scares a lot of people, the cash flow statements. If you are not an accountant, do you like to see these kind of things? You don't understand all this stuff. So I wanted to do accountancy because I was interested in investing. Right? And after that, since I got my qualifications, I thought, okay, let me try accountancy. And well, I thought, okay, it's better to go back into finance and into teaching. Yeah? Some of you here will be like that, I'm sure. I don't think every single one of you here, after finishing, you will be an accountant. Some of you will be business development. Some of you will go up operations. You just pursue what you love and you'll be good at it. Okay? Any more questions before I go on? No? Yes.
When you are attempting the ACCA paper, are you working or are you out?
Half-half. Yes, half-half. When I did my F papers, I was full-time. When I did my P papers, it was part-time. Okay? And I got most of my prizes at the P papers actually. My F papers, F5, F7, F9. I was the prize winner. My P papers, P1, P3, P4, P5. I was the prize winner. Actually, working does help you. Many things you study in ACCA, if you don't work, you're like, what on earth is it, right? And then you just memorize, an exam you just vomit it out. But that doesn't work now. That doesn't work now. Because ACCA wants to catch people who memorizes. Yeah? But how come you ask that question? If you don't mind, I ask you. Why do you ask that question?
Because I think that people who go to work and when they attend the ACCA paper, it is not too much time to study.
Yes. That is the biggest challenge. How many here are full-time students? Okay, you are lucky because you have the time, but the others, they have the experience. And experience does count. So sometimes students ask me, I say, why not take a part-time job just to gain experience and then study ACCA at the same time? Maybe work 2 days a week if it is possible. I don't know whether in Vietnam it's possible. Work 2 days a week doing some accounts and then you study with all the rest of your time. If you work 5 days and study, how many are working 5 days and taking like 3 papers? Anybody? 1. The rest? No. Okay. Then the rest of you are working full time but taking 1 paper, 2 papers? Yes? Mostly? Yeah. Okay. That is quite logical. In Singapore it's the same. Yeah? Singapore is the same. It's tough. Some people who work and take 3 papers, they fail all 3 papers and they don't even do well in their work. Right? So you take too much, everything gets messed up. Okay, we can always stop for questions, more questions later. As y'all get more comfortable with me, I think y'all will ask more questions because y'all didn't ask the most popular question. The most popular question I get, which since you didn't ask, I cannot answer. People like to ask, how old am I? Okay? Am I older than SAA? You know SAA is 30 years old, right? But you didn't ask, so I can't tell you. Okay, maybe later on. Now what do we have for today? For today, I just want to give you, first, overview of ACCA fundamentals. Today, we are just talking about fundamentals. Professional papers we will not be discussing. Give you an overview of that. Tackling MCQs. How do you do it well? And this, tackling written. And 15 minutes, just general preparation. Hopefully, if you are not dead and tired by then, we can have a Q&A. Alright? Straight off, I ask you, which one of these 4 are you the most interested in? Okay, let's say many different things. Okay, show of hands, okay? How many you are so interested in an overview of ACCA fundamental papers? Okay, then I'll go very fast. I'll go very fast for this. How many of you are interested in tackling MCQs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of, this is only like 20% maybe. How many are interested in tackling written questions? Okay, so I know where to spend most of my time. Alright? Do you know that this is the same everywhere I've been? Everybody doesn't like tackling written questions. And you better know how to tackle written questions, because at the P level, are there any MCQs? No. Unless you take so long to pass ACCA, okay? You take it and you fail, you take it and you fail. 7 years later, you are at the P paper. Then maybe ACCA changed their format. Then maybe the P paper has MCQ. But you know, MCQ is quite new. Are you aware of that? For the F paper, MCQ is quite new. Last time F paper was also totally written. Okay? Okay, we'll talk more about that later. Alright, I have to give an overview because there are some new students here. So, this is how ACCA goes. F1 all the way to F9, 9 papers. You have your first paper, which is an easy paper, the highest pass rate. And you have all these things called objective test questions, OT, and MTQs, multitask questions. Okay, maybe let me ask this first. How many here have not passed their F1 to F4? How many here have not completed F1 to F4? 1, 2, 3. F1, yeah, have not finished your F1 to F4.
All 3, all 4.
All 4, yeah. Okay. Okay, so there are some people, right? So I have to slow down at this portion a little bit. Those of you who have passed maybe an F8, too bad for you, okay? Just sit there and relax. I just take a while. Let me go through F1, F2, and as you see here later, F3. F1 to F3, they are mainly multiple choice, computer-based exams, and F4 just joined them not too long ago. But F1 to F4, there's this special thing called multitask questions, MTQ. Alright, OT, objective questions, OT, you can just take it as MCQs, alright, and some other kind of questions. What are MTQs? Anybody would like to share? What are multitask questions? That can be a multitask question. That can be part of a multitask question. Yeah? But there's something special about multitask questions versus the earlier objective test questions. Do you all know what that is? Objective test questions, they tend to be one question and it stands alone, right? After you're finished with that question, you can forget about everything you read, you move on to the next one. MTQs, how are they normally? They tend to be related to each other, yes. They tend to be based on a story, right? This company, and then based on this company, you have 4 questions or 5 questions. Those are MTQs. To me, do I really care about OT and MTQs? If you ask me honestly as a lecturer, I tell my students, if you study hard enough, whether I test you OT, or I test you MTQ, or I test you in any other way, does it really make a difference? It doesn't. It doesn't. And honestly, if you didn't study, does it make a difference whether I test you OT or I test you MTQ? Oh, it does. It does. Okay, maybe how much you didn't study. Okay, maybe it depends. Maybe it depends. But I will just run through, since it is 2 big parts of F1 to F4, I'll just run through what are MTQs and what are OTs. OTs, you have things like multiple choice, multiple response matching number entry, and gap fill. All these don't really mean much. I will show you examples of it. Why are there so many kinds of questions? Actually, why can't ACCA just give you MCQ? Do you all know why? Isn't it?
To check you all the fundamental knowledge.
But can't MCQ check your fundamental knowledge? Like, why must you go crazy and throw me so many things, right? It's like making life more complicated than what it is already. Why? Could you repeat again, sorry? But multiple response also you can guess. Okay. So what is your name? If you don't mind, what is your name? Hua. I had a friend called Hua before. This is real, I don't say that to everybody, okay? I had a friend called Hua before. He was a lecturer as well, Vietnamese. Now Hua says this makes things more difficult and it really tests whether you understand. Alright? ACCA says they want to do it because the questions are clear. Alright? Honestly, you ask me, I find that they are doing it just to give you more variety. Alright? I find MCQ or all this, it honestly really doesn't matter. Do you all know CFA? You know this course CFA? CFA is pure MCQs. And it works. Everybody loves CFA. But one big difference I find for OT and MTQs and for MC, multiple choice questions and all the rest, did you know this? This one here. This is a very big difference in rate. Are you able to see? Too small. I read it to you. Did you know partial marks are awarded? You never knew. Some of you know, yeah. For multiple response matching, you can get partial marks. That is a big difference. MCQ, is there partial marks? MCQ is either you get all your marks or none of the marks. But for all this, you can get partial marks, which I think is a benefit. And it's easy to get them. So let me give you an example. Here is a question, you don't really have to read the question, it doesn't matter. You just have for each part, generate new ideas. Select which one is the most relevant. You just select, let's say I select this, I select this, I select this, I select this. 4 rows. The rows that you selected correctly, they will give you partial marks. Alright? So, marks are given for each row answered correctly. That is one good difference. Now let me show you multiple response. Multiple response, it says select 2 ways in which Kim could overcome the problems caused by restrictions in material supply. These kind of questions you don't even need to study, you know. I mean going out a while. Just now we talked about people who work. Do you know if you work, you don't even need to attend class to answer this question? In Singapore, we call this common sense question. You know common sense? Okay, we say the same thing. Common sense, everybody should know. You look at this question, if there is a restriction in material supply, what are 2 of your solutions? Let's say first, second, third, fourth. Select 2. What will you choose? First 2, seek alternative sources, seek cheaper sources. Any other answers? A and D. Seek alternative sources of supply, consider the most efficient ordering policy. No? B and C. Like all kinds of combination. A and C, B and D. Now, however you choose, as long as you select one that is correct, you're going to get 1 mark. Okay? I make it very simple for you, even though ACCA's explanation is very complicated. ACCA says to know how many marks you're going to get, they tell you marks for each correct answer selected if the required number of answers have been selected, but not all answers are correct. What on earth are they saying? They are just telling you, if you got 2 choices, please select 2 choices. And if one of them is correct, I will give you 1 mark. That is what they are saying. But you know the people in London, right? They cannot talk so simple, so they must talk very complicated. But whenever, for those who have not taken F1 to F4, whenever you see a question like this, make sure you take 2 options. If it's 2 options, make sure you take 2. If one of them is right, you get partial marks. Okay? Okay, I'm done with F1 to F4. But I pause for students who have not taken them. Any questions you have? If not, if you are shy, we can take it during the break, okay? During the break time, I'll still mix with you. Alright? Okay, and let's move to the things that most of you people are doing. F5, F6, F7, F8, F9. A recent change, there is now MCQs. Now, here, you don't need to care about all this fancy stuff anymore. You don't need to care about all this. Okay? You can cancel all this out. From F5 all the way to F9, you only have MCQs. Okay, no what tick the box lah, this button, that button, nothing. All MCQs and written questions. Alright? Now, I want you to notice something interesting. So let's say F5, performance management. Did you all know that the examiner will always tell you what will be tested for the longer questions? Did you all know that? For F5, they told you, you have two 15-mark questions and this will be what it's based on. How many know that already? 1, 2, 3. The rest of you all never knew? Okay, now you know. Check it out, okay? This is not ACCA tells me because I'm a lecturer. This is on the internet website. Alright, F5. Now, F6, you see this is empty. They do not tell you what the long questions will be. But for certain papers, as you notice, they will. But look here, MCQ 40, MCQ 30. MCQs are a very big portion now. F7, financial reporting, MCQ 40, and they tell you the 60 marks for your essay question, your written question. 30 marks will be preparing financial statements for a single entity or group. Alright? F8, this has the lowest MCQ, 20 marks, but they tell you what are the two 20-mark questions for written going to be on. Okay? And F9, 40 marks. So MCQ now is huge. To summarize what I've gone through, these two. 1, MCQs are here to stay, and quite a lot of people seem to like it. Alright? 2, please always check your syllabus. For those who are just starting off ACCA, when you reach your F8 and F9, check your syllabus for tips. You know, as a lecturer, students always like to ask me, Iwrin, can you give me tips for the exam? I ask you honestly, do you think I can give you tips? Do you think your lecturer really knows what will come out? Is it possible? If you ask me, okay, many different lecturers say different things, okay? So I just say what I personally believe. I personally believe it is impossible. And I'm very scared to give tips because some students think that I'm like God talking to them. I say, look at this, it may come out. I just say may, right? They take it as it will come out and they only study that. And then of course, you get into big trouble. But the tips you can rely on are those in the syllabus guide. This will come out. Alright, so if you focus on those, you'll be safe. Now, I want to run through MCQs. Open up to you again. MCQs, good thing or bad thing? How many think it is a good thing? Raise up your hands. Wow. Why? Why?
It depends on if you are going to work, it's bad for you because we don't have time to cover all the syllabus.
Okay.
For the students, like we don't have like experiences to work,
okay.
So it's good for us because we just only have knowledge with the syllabus.
Good.
So MCQ is good for the students.
When you listen to her comment very carefully, she's telling you MCQ, they test more things or less things. What she's saying, more things, right? So who has an advantage? If I'm going to test more things, who has an advantage? The full-time students. It's true, because you have more time to cover every part, every detail, every section of your syllabus. Okay? But I'm sure part-time students also put up your hands. Why do you think MCQs are good? Part-time students. Those who are working, why do you like MCQs?
Because even if you don't know the answer, you can ask the Chuyên to me.
Yes. Did you hear? She said even if you don't know the answer, you have a chance to be correct. Those behind, can I hear from you? You also raise your hand, right? Hey, don't be scared. As I walk towards you, you don't, relax. I just walk. Can the mic? Yeah. Okay. Why do you all say MCQs are better? Those behind. Don't be shy. You are as shy as Singaporeans, Singaporeans are very shy. But I'm good. I'm trained in Singapore. So as a teacher, I'll just wait. It's like, you wait and you see who can wait longer. So this half they answered. This half of people, why is MCQ better for you? Why do you like MCQ? Or if you don't want to answer that, someone tell me why you don't like MCQ. Why you think it is bad?
In the MCQ question, we don't have to dig into the detail of the problem.
They don't give you details of the problem.
No, I mean we don't have to dig the very detail in the problem. We need an overview of everything.
Yes. Very good. Now, so you like MCQ, right? You like? Of course. Now, she says you don't have to go very deep. MCQ, at most 2 marks. Can they test you like very fantastic stuff? 2 marks, what can you test, right? So they'll test things that are more shallow, things that are more basic. Alright? Okay, good. This half answered. Now, anyone feels that MCQs are bad? Want to put up your hand? I'm putting up because when ACCA before doing this, they asked all the lecturers in the world, give us your comment. We are changing the syllabus to MCQ. Do you like it or you don't like it? I wrote them an essay, saying that please don't do that. I say all the bad things and I sent to them. Very long, I spent like 1 hour writing. Did they listen to me? Of course they don't listen to me, right? I'm just one small guy. But I don't like MCQ, so who else don't like MCQ? I saw a few hands. 1, 2, 3. Quite a few. The rest of your class think that you are weird. Those who like MCQ, they'll think that you're crazy. Okay, crazy people. Why are you like me? Why you don't like MCQ? Why? Why don't you like MCQ?
Because you need to give the exact answer, even if you have no mark.
Yes. You have to give an exact answer, otherwise you have no marks. Alright? Now, I don't like it because I believe at the workplace, MCQ is useless. When you go to your boss says, Iwrin, I want you to do this project. When he tell you, but Iwrin, for this project you have A, B, C, D. Iwrin, which one do you think is the best answer? Many times he won't tell you that, right? He gives you the project. If your boss is a nice guy, he lets you figure it out yourself. You find the best solution yourself. Written questions tend to help you build up this kind of skill. MCQs, honestly, I really don't like it. And I think when you reach the P paper, the professionals paper, you will get very shocked. Because suddenly 100% is all written. But now you'll be mentally prepared, okay? 100% all written. Alright? Many students can't handle when they go to the P papers. Alright? So anyway, I'm not here to change the world. I cannot change this. So, what are the good things about MCQ? You all have brought it up. No writing needed. A lot of people, they don't like English because it's not the first language. So they say no writing. Fantastic. Second, you have a helper. Someone said, yes, you have a helper. Who is your helper? This thing. Can you all see? You know what this word is? Luck. Right? You have a helper called luck. Which is like what this lady said. Even if I don't know, I just select. What is the chance? 25%. Written question, if I don't know, I write about my grandfather ran a business and my grandfather did this and that, I also will get 0 marks, right? So written, if you can't, you really just can't. And lastly, someone said it is less complicated. But what are the bad things about MCQ? Aside from how it's not practical for the workplace, MCQ is all or nothing. It's really all or nothing. So even if you studied half the syllabus, half is as good as nothing. Imagine the answer has 4 steps, you did 3 steps, but you don't know the last one. What's the use? You might as well don't do it. Understand? All or nothing. Second, this is a big deal. It is of a broader scope. This one I don't like also. I don't like, later maybe I explain why. And last, MCQs sometimes can be difficult because they distract you with other options. A, B, C, D, a very good MCQ question. B, let's say the answer is A, okay? B, C, and D are possible answers. They can distract you and they put doubt. Do you know what is doubt? They make you unsure. If I gave you a written question, you will write the answer and the answer will be A and you'll go to the next question. But now because you have B, C, and D, that looks like they could be answers also, you ask yourself, oh, maybe I'm wrong. Then you wait there, oh yeah, actually if I added the number instead of minusing the number, if I added, I will get the answer C. So maybe it's C. I tell you, you waste a lot of time, okay? Distractors are a problem. That's why for CFA level 1 and level 2 is pure MCQ. And the pass rates are also super low. Alright? So don't think that MCQs are easy. You just walk in, sit down, A, B, C, and then 40 marks is yours. MCQs can also kill you. Alright? Now, so since MCQs are so serious, how do I prepare? Simple. Be ready for broad coverage. Be ready. I talk to especially part-timers. Be ready, part-timers. 2 years ago, part-timers, I will tell you, study the main topics. Because, like let's say F5, okay? F5 last time had 5 questions. 5 questions, I have to test you on the 5 main topics, right? Study the main topics because you are a part-timer, you don't have time, do the main topics. But now I cannot tell you that. Because for F5, you have 30 MCQ marks worth that you have to figure out. Wait, is it 30 or 40? 40. 40. You have 40, you know, to figure out. And later we're going to look at the handout I gave you. And you will see how broad the coverage is. So, like it or not, you have to study early. And you have to build your long-term memory. I like to study the science of the brain. I'm not a scientist, but I like to read about it. And it's true. Teachers always tell you study early, study daily. But last time when I was a student, I like to study last minute. And I also did quite well, right? But honestly, the science is your brain is a machine. If you study early and you study daily, the memory is much stronger. So, have consistent study habits. Pay attention to fundamental terms and concepts. MCQs, they like to test you on definitions. They like to test you on concepts. Alright, I will show you the questions later. Make lists and tables. And lastly, I say see the sample questions. Now, why do I give you sample questions? Because everybody knows MCQ questions are different from written questions. But if I set you down with me here, and I say, like let's say Hua sat here, I say, Hua, how are MCQ questions really different? Can you tell me exactly how is it different? Anybody can give me a good answer aside from all the general things here that I said earlier? Specifically, what are the differences? Now, you look at the sample questions, okay? So you all have the sample questions. Oh yeah, I forgot to take a handout for myself. Is there still a handout left for me? One? Yeah. So for all of you, you have your handouts. The front, can you just look at the front page? Do you see the sample questions? MCQ 2 pages. Now I just want you to take 5 minutes just to read through the questions and tell me, do you spot a certain pattern? Do you spot a certain trend? And this trend is how MCQs are different, alright? Wow, you all read very fast, huh? Seriously, I hear you all like turning the paper. Are you all really reading? Or are you like just looking at the numbers and then like just turning and turning? Okay, take a while, really. Just take a while to read, okay? Let me rest my voice for 3 minutes. Take 3 minutes to read. Alright, I'll look at my watch. I'll give you 3 minutes. Just the first two pages, alright? The MCQ questions. One more minute. Okay, time's up. Now guys, why did I extract these questions for you? Do you see, what message am I trying to tell you with these questions? Is there a pattern? Is there a certain trend in these questions? What? The gentleman in white, yes. Behind the lady in green. Yeah, you are looking at me, yes, yes you. No, you don't, yes you, yeah. Yeah, it looks like you have an answer. Do you see any trend in this? Trend as in any pattern. Is there any pattern?
What?
I thought you had an answer. No?
Yeah, some question I can answer in your handout.
Oh, you found the answers to the questions. Is it?
No, just my answer, not the official answer.
Okay, so what's your answer?
For what? For which question?
Oh, no. I'm not asking for the answers to the questions. Because some of them I don't even know the answers. Alright?
Yeah.
But do you see the questions in MCQs? What kind of questions come out? Then in a written question, those written ones, right? It has a much lower chance of coming out. Anyone want to try? Just guess. Don't worry. For the gentleman, don't worry. I thought you had an answer. Don't worry. Okay? Don't worry. Anyone want to try? You want to try?
I think there are combination of 1 and 4, 1 and 3.
What do you mean they are they combine 1 and 4?
The question is not only to say only.
Okay. Okay. He's saying there's a trend that the questions is not just A, B, C, D. A is made up of like 4 options or 3 options, right? I think he's referring to this portion here. A is 4, 2, 1 and 3, it's like you have to arrange them. Or for certain parts, A is like 1 and 4 are application controls, things like that. Okay, but still missing. There's an answer I'm looking for. Okay, let's try. What is the first question really asking you? Start with D. That is the word that I'm looking for. The first question is a what kind of question? Definition. How many people, when you study ACCA, you memorize the definition? When I studied, I didn't really memorize the definition. In my mind, I know kind of what it is about. But when you force me to the definition, I might not be able to give you, MCQs, text definition, and because the 4 definitions, or here just 3 definitions, some questions will make the definitions quite close to each other. So you must be very sharp about what the exact definition is, such that you don't choose the wrong definition. MCQs have definition. MCQs also like to test you, like let's look at 2. Isn't it broad? This is an audit question. But to answer this audit question, very broad. You have to understand what is bank reconciliation. You have to understand bank confirmation report. What is verbal confirmation? What is a cash count? Alright? Whereas last time in a written question, you just have to know the main ideas. If you miss out small details,